Today in the battle arena, we got the clown prince of crime, the Joker, going up against none other than Pennywise the dancing clown. So who's come out on top here? Well, let's find out. The Joker, the clown prince of crime, is Batman's arch nemesis. An agent of chaos known for his malicious plots, wacky gadgets, and insidious smile, he has caused Batman more suffering than any other villain he's ever faced. However, his origin, name, and true motivations remain a mystery. Due to his submergence in a vat full of chemicals, Joker became physically more impressive than the average human and is exceptionally durable. This might be because of his exposure to the chemicals, his masochistic nature, or a combination of both, but he actually seems to enjoy pain and welcome it. Bullets seem to do little more than slow him down. He's even laughed off being shot before, has survived explosions and large falls, and of course taken countless beatdowns from Batman and other members of the Bat family. Joker is also completely insane, has no sense of right or wrong, and possesses an indomitable will, as well as a genius level intelligence. He's able to lay out malicious and well planned traps, is an expert when it comes to explosives and chemicals, is even smart enough to defeat Ra's al Ghul in a chess match. He also constantly carries around a wide assortment of gear and weapons, like guns or explosives, razor sharp playing cards, acidic flowers, and his go-to weapon being his Joker Venom. This deadly poison infects its victims with ghoulish grins as they die while laughing uncontrollably, and can come in all forms, from gas to darts to liquids. He's even developed a variant of the Joker toxin, enough to affect the likes of Superman and Wonder Woman, inverting love to hatred and trust to distrust. Joker also isn't necessarily a bad hand-to-hand fighter. He's surprisingly fast and agile in a fight, always fights very chaotically and is difficult to predict. One time, he even took down 12 League of Assassins members while escaping from Ra's al Ghul. So, that's what we got in one corner. Batman's main baddie, the Joker. But entering the ring in the other corner was none other than Stephen King's creation, Pennywise. It is an ancient alien monster, and although it's lived on the Earth for many years, it actually originated in a void outside the region of space known as the Macroverse. It can morph into any person, animal, or object, but its favorite and most common form is a circus performer known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Pennywise's primary goal is to feed on humans, generally preferring children over adults since they're easier to scare and manipulate. According to the creature, frightened flesh just tastes better. Pennywise can transform into any kind of being, including things that don't exist in reality and aren't even physically possible. It can appear in multiple places as multiple beings, and different people can actually see it as different things, like when Richie saw it as a werewolf, while Bill saw it as Pennywise. It's also able to create illusions, which can actually be physically touched, and Pennywise generally uses these to instill fear in his prey. Pennywise is also able to turn invisible whenever it wants to. It can actually appear to only certain people, or remaining invisible to others. It can telekinetically control and manipulate objects, instantly teleport anywhere inside of the town of Derry, control the minds and actions of weaker-willed people, and Pennywise is also able to actually detect emotions and memories of his prey, generally using this ability in order to exploit their fears. Pennywise is not truly a physical entity, meaning that it can't actually be killed or harmed by conventional means. But this doesn't mean that it's completely invincible. In fact, he's been repeatedly injured in the past and been forced to retreat, although Pennywise is later able to recover from any wound that he sustains. However, even though Pennywise is obviously incredibly powerful, he does have some pretty significant weaknesses. Given that it needs to feed on fear, it makes sense that courage and heart can overcome it. Pennywise can also be taken by surprise and actually physically injured if the attacker demonstrates no fear. Then, despite being a fearsome creature, Pennywise isn't necessarily fearless. At the first sign of being overpowered, it generally makes a quick retreat. Pennywise is also overconfident in his abilities and underestimates humanity, and because of this, often makes mistakes, will actually leave open escape routes for his victims and allow them to run away. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. With Halloween right around the corner, well, we're kickstarting with Joker, the clown prince of crime, going up against Pennywise, the dancing clown. So who's coming out on top here? Well, let's find out. Now, right from the beginning, this is a difficult fight to figure out, just because there are so many different layers and levels to what's going on here. And I'm specifically talking about Pennywise in that regard, because Joker, he's a fairly straightforward character. He's a psychopathic clown. Pennywise is pretty much the opposite of a straightforward character. So it is a metaphysical entity that's actually way beyond our universe that challenges the guardian of this universe, a giant turtle. I know, just go with it. It actually arrived in our universe under the giant turtle's nose because the turtle was dead after having choked to death while coughing up the universe. Then, since it is a metaphysical entity, it does have a physical body, or avatar, which is a giant spider that crash landed like an asteroid down on Earth and set up shop under the town of Derry. This spider avatar then has an avatar of its own, Pennywise the Clown. So Pennywise technically isn't really there, except for the fact that it is. Basically, beating the Pennywise avatar is actually pointless if you want to stop the monster it. If you just beat the spider avatar under Derry, well then the spider goes into hibernation for 27 years exactly, then comes back out again. In order to stop it, you gotta have your mind and your soul warped through the spider in order to encounter the actual entity in the Macroverse and defeat its true form there, which is a being that rivals a giant turtle that choked to death while coughing up the universe. So if you actually want to beat it, you gotta be something that's so strong and so powerful that Pennywise, and even the giant spider, almost not even worth worrying about. In fact, the only reason that there was any conflict in the book at all was because the giant turtle was actually fighting against it as well. But since the turtle was already dead, it was just acting through the Losers Club. I know, kinda confusing. But just for this fight, if Joker can beat Pennywise, then Joker wins. Simple as that. Let's keep it simple. So first off, what's Pennywise able to do? Well, it's able to shapeshift into anything that it desires. Any person, any animal, or any object. It can use this power to appear in multiple forms in multiple places, and even appear as different things to different people. However, there is a limitation to this, as it must obey the laws of its forms, meaning that it takes on the vulnerabilities of its form. Like if it was a vampire, it's gonna be vulnerable to sunlight. However, Pennywise's greatest asset in this fight is definitely gonna be his telepathy, his illusions, and a combination of both. With telepathy, Pennywise can detect emotions and memories in its prey, using this ability to exploit their fears. With its illusions, well, it's able to instill fear as well. These illusions are realistic enough to where they're actually physical, can be touched, and can even induce smells. Secondly, this is kind of important, Pennywise is all about harassing his prey. In fact, that's kind of the crux of the story. Pennywise hunting down the Losers Club. Rather than just going all out and killing the kids quickly, Pennywise preferred to frighten them and to taunt them. Supposedly because frightened flesh just tastes better, so you gotta build up that fear. Alternatively, in the 2017 movie, it was implied that it actually needs its prey to fear it in order to be able to kill them and eat them. So when confronting Beverly, Pennywise left her alive but paralyzed because she didn't fear him. And this is what this fight is all about. Can Pennywise make Joker fear him? Because, logically, Pennywise is so far beyond the Joker that it's kinda hilarious. However, in his avatar form, Pennywise relies on the fear of his victims. When they don't fear him, that's what makes him vulnerable. And I really don't think Pennywise can make Joker afraid. What would Joker even be afraid of? Well, it looks like nothing. There's a time where Scarecrow gassed Joker a fear toxin in order to see what Joker was afraid of, and Joker just proceeded to beat the crap out of him with a chair. Joker smokes a fear plant like a kind of pot, and when Raven straight up showed him his deepest fears, his most torturous nightmares, he just found it funny and started busting out laughing. And if Joker has no fear, well, then he's just gonna proceed to beat the crap out of Pennywise with a crowbar. Pennywise might not necessarily die, but he's gonna be broken, and he's gonna crawl away like a wounded predator. And this is actually in character for the clown. Pennywise isn't above retreating and self-preservation. Despite being fearsome, Pennywise isn't fearless. And at the first sign of being overpowered, Pennywise will always quickly retreat. The book talks about how the Losers Club made Pennywise fear them. And in the movie, it's implied that Pennywise actually loses some of its power when it can't frighten its victims, allowing the Losers Club to actually manage to physically beat it into a corner. And does that count as a victory? I guess. It counts as a victory for the Losers Club, so it should count as a victory for the Joker here too. At best, it's a draw. Pennywise can't scare Joker, meaning that it literally can't do anything to the Joker. Meanwhile, if Joker isn't gonna be afraid, then it's gonna be able to physically beat Pennywise, forcing Pennywise to retreat, possibly going back into his 27-year slumber. And so if we count that as a win, which I think we have to, because otherwise it's a draw at best, well then believe it or not, Joker's coming out on top here. Joker wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also be sure that like button, subscribe button, and turn notifications on the DanCo army. And I will see y'all next time.